Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today, as always, bringing you guys and gals Toriko chapter reviews. Today, Toriko chapter 334 review. And if you haven't seen the live reaction, as always, annotation right here and a link in the box below. Now, this week's chapter of Toriko is obviously Yuda-centric, which I adore. Hence, the title of the chapter being 1mm Yuda. And Yuda beats Condor Window in the first round of the competition in the Blue Grill Stadium, and the next round will proceed. Well, I think they're going to do that after Yuda finishes cooking the food, the leaf fish. Then the ST10 eat the leaf fish, and then they have their approval because it's Yuda. They're not going to disapprove because, again, Yuda is that skilled, and then they're going to move on to the next round. Now, that being said, again, Yuda in this chapter is one that gets character development, not only in flashback, but also in real time. And furthermore, he beats Condor to progress the story along, obviously. But there are a few things in the chapter that are, I wouldn't say bad, but they do need some focus. So before I get to that stuff, Yuda. Number one, alright, Yuda, his real-time character development is actually fairly fascinating. Because Yuda, it's revealed that he takes his time, genuinely so, when it comes to analyzing the ingredient in front of him. And he states that he no longer gets surprised. So when Condor is just moving at, rapid speeds and he's cutting a leaf fish with the forearms, like boom, 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 and he's going really fast, Yuda just sitting there, he's just chilling, like, okay, well, let me look at this, let me look at this, let me look at the leaf, has layers on top of it, about 100 0.1 layer thick leaves, so I need to cut all those layers, that kind of stuff. And again, Condor is beating him, and his side of the seesaw kitchen is going down, but he's not surprised. And that's something that he's actually attained over the course of his cooking career, or over a century of that. And he even states that the last time he was surprised, genuinely so, was when Komatsu was able to make, I think it's called, I don't know what it's called. Like, I want to say it's the medical mochi, but I don't think it's the medical mochi. No, because that's something else. I think, actually, no, that should be a person, the guy with the wrestling mask. But the thing here is, he makes a new way. He has a new method of actually cooking a medical ingredient in a much faster rate to help those that were poisoned by the green rain, by the four beasts. And that genuinely surprised Yuda. Like, he was actually shocked. Like, whoa. This kid's a genius, a bona fide genius. So, that was good. And also, we get to see him use a few skills. We get to see him use a thing called Vigor Up to, like, Hulk up. This thing called Asha Dance, where he actually cuts the gravity space around him. And it's kind of cool, too, because he says, when Condor's falling into the Soul Burner Furnace, he says, the multi-gravity space around them, it has a minute boundary line. And that thickness is 1mm. So, like it's, like, right up his alley. So, like, that was pretty cool, man. Like, just Yuda doing a thing. Now, when it comes to his flashback character development, essentially what it is that his full course is unique. Not like Ichiryu level unique, where in Ichiryu's case, the full course that he had was tailored to bringing a habitat specifically for the Billion Bird. But in the case of Yuda, his full course has a very low capture level. And that seems very strange for someone of his skill. And the reason why is because of a former partner that he had way back when. A partner that he killed. And it wasn't intentionally. He thought that he genuinely saved this kid in the flashback. Because what happened is essentially his master or his teacher tells Yuda to go out and actually experience failure. And here Yuda is, thinking that he's saving this village from an illness. But he made a mistake when it came to the cooking method. And there is a difference between adults and children. So all the children did not consume the medicine. Except for one. The one that actually trusted Yuda the most. Zen. And he didn't realize that the difference in cooking method when it comes to the cuts between adults and children is 1mm. And because of that 1mm mistake, he cost Zen his life. And Zen was a kid that had dreams and ambition and hope. and he had his own full course. He wanted to make an invincible full course, a course that could heal anybody. And here Yuda is looking down on the kid, and as the kid is talking, coughs up blood, and then just collapses right then and there. And he dies because of Yuda's mistake. So it was fortunate that the other kid did not actually consume the medicine that Yuda made. But at the same time, he realized that he made a grievous mistake. But that mistake was so minuscule, he overlooked it. And so ever since then, Yuda took that kid's full course, that low-ranking full course. He made it taste delicious. And he was someone that always made the effort to not make a single mistake when it came to actually cooking, when it came to the prep and whatnot. He analyzes every aspect he possibly can before diving headfirst into cooking. And that's why he was able to beat Condor. Because when Condor was so focused on the leaf fish, Yuda was analyzing every aspect of what he had to do in order to actually cook the leaf fish. And that included the environment around them. So he prepped the environment around him. He targeted the gravity upwards, so he didn't have to worry about falling down into the soul burner furnace. And he actually beat Condor without actually finishing his dish. That's very impressive. That is very impressive on the part of Yuda. Cannot deny it. So, Yuda, just seeing that character development, I think was very good for his character. Excellent for his character. Though granted, here where the faults come in. Though granted, I'm not really a fan of Mitsutoshi ending this competition, ending this bout between Condor and Yuda in like one chapter. That to me I thought could have been done in like, let's say 2 or 3 chapters. Because the last chapter was like the start of it kind of, where they started actually like knocking the fish. But like it wasn't like, it was a highlight moment obviously, but it wasn't like the cornerstone. Like it wasn't like the majority of the chapter. When they actually started like cooking. When they started the knocking of the leaf fish and whatnot. So what I wanted to see was at least one more chapter. Because I wanted to see more from Condor Window. Because again, these are your top 5 cooks in the entirety of Blue Grill. And you could argue that, well, maybe because we're going to focus on Asaruti, because Asaruti, I think, is number 1 among the top 5 cooks in Blue Grill, among the 10 shells. And Asaruti, we can expect to have Asaruti have a lot of character development. That's my assumption, honestly. But at the same time, we shouldn't neglect the other 4 members of the 10 shells. Now, there is a chance that Condor's still alive, because the Soul Burner Furnace does not actually consume like the soul, as far as we know. What it does is that it consumes life force, and Condor has been alive for thousands of years because his soul has been jumping from body to body to body. So there's a chance that the body itself, yes, it's damaged or it's done because the life force is drained out of it. But the soul could still remain intact. And we see this because a referee, he was just nearby, obviously. He's trying to, like, mitigate the fight. Like, watch the fight. Make sure no one's cheating or whatnot. And the sparks of the soul burner furnace just comes out. Yeah, grabs the guy, sucks him in. Takes away all his life force. I'm like, what the fuck? That's crazy. And the folks that are still watching. It reminds me of, like, a Roman Coliseum in a way. Where it's like a death game, essentially. Like, you have the Cooking on Arc. It wasn't a death game. This is a death game. And you have the Don Slime as like the Emperor and shit. He's like, yeah. Like, that's the way it is in a sense. And for the most part, I want to say that that person is dead. The referee. But at the same time, that person did have their soul switched out. So their body could be dead. But the soul itself could still be there because that person had the mask on and that person had their soul switched out, obviously. And also, speaking of that, I did notice how that person, their eyes are like regular people's eyes. They're not, like black on the outside. They're having a white pupil. So Asaruti probably is unique in that aspect. And one last thing. I recall that Damala was actually analyzing the warp kitchen space that Condor is making, and I'm hoping that we actually get an analysis of that warp kitchen, like what it is exactly, because since Condor's out of the picture now, we're not going to see it again. Probably not. I doubt that the other 10 shells could actually utilize that technique, or I should say the other 4 remaining, because I think that was a specific technique for Condor himself, and that did something to enhance his cooking skill, but what it did exactly, I'm not too sure. So hopefully we get an idea of what it actually is through Damala, because the 10 shells themselves, they are unique in the sense that they can hear the food spirits. So that may be something that is specific to Condor, or it could be a thing that they can all do. And that's it. So the chapter overall, I think it was actually a pretty damn good chapter, because it does give Yuda justice. And my only gripe with the chapter is, honestly, it should have been more than one chapter when it pertains to Condor and Yuda, to get some more insight on the character Condor. Because again, he's one of the top 5 dudes in the entire country, and yet here he is in the soul burner furnace and he's gone, as far as we know. So that's my only real gripe, and that's really it. So the chaptering overall, I'm going to give it a rating of a good plus, and I will see you guys later. Good plus to great, honestly. And I will see you guys later. King Lightning, rate the video, comment, subscribe. Peace. Have a nice goddamn day.